Hey guys, welcome to Nifty World. I'm Bex, and in today's video I'm chatting to one of the co-founders of Yuser, which is a social media platform to really help add exposure to brilliant creators, and for you guys who maybe are missing a little bit of Instagram to feel like you're getting that fix while supporting a lot of people in the NFT space. So if you are wanting to find out more about this and how you can get this on your phone, then make sure you stay tuned to this video. Don't forget to like it, subscribe to this channel, and of course click that all-important notification bell so you don't miss a beat every time a new video drops. But for now, let's dive right in. Okay guys, well, welcome to my lovely chat with Unika Sot, who is one of the co-founders of Yuser. Now, I stumbled across Yuser on a Twitter space and I got very excited hearing about it, because think about NFTs and think about social media. Think about Instagram, right? We haven't really seen a sort of NFT gallery, Instagram interactable app that you can use to show off your NFTs until now. And I think it's a little genius idea that gets loads of creators even more exposure in the space. And that is just the beginning. So Unika, I'm really excited to talk to you, because I literally did jump on that Twitter space and raise my hand to go, hi, I just want to say I'd really like to interview you tonight.
Honestly, that was great. I really appreciate it because we had so many people in that room. It was so buzzing. But then we started getting asked for giving interviews. And I think people were really like, whoa, these guys. And I was just like, okay, I take that.
Yeah, well, it's a really exciting prospect. And now that Yuser has launched, you did a fantastic launch where if you were quick enough, and I was, you could generate your very own avatar, which you can later mint and turn into an NFT on what we're going to talk about later, which is kind of your new marketplace platform and the exciting opportunities there. So we'll come on to that in just a second. But I want to kick off by talking about the fact that you have been in crypto for a while now, and to kind of just understand before Yuser roughly what your journey was within the world of crypto.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm really honored to be part of your channel and looking forward to, talking about what we're doing. And it's so nice to hear like how other people interpret what we do, but it is, it always comes up like a little bit different from how we present ourselves. But like, I like the way you connected us with immediately like Instagram and NFTs. So yeah, this is like exactly that kind of the vibe that we're going for. But a little bit more about myself. So I am one of the founders of Yuser, and I actually met Tom, my other co-founder, where I started working for him with his previous company. So the previous company that he ran was called PMF Entertainment, and we basically had a website, not unlike something like BuzzFeed, where we would just drive traffic to that website and share it with influencers so that we could, get like thousands, not even thousands, millions of hits to that website. So it was great for a little while. However, what happened was that at some point, Facebook literally decided that they were not going to allow influencers to share links on their profiles, and they were going to basically ban accounts that would share this kind of sponsored links, because they were not sponsored through Facebook. They were just these influencer companies. They would share that. So we saw that happen because we were kind of like at the tail end of that when we launched our website. And what happened was that literally all these people that were running, in some cases, companies of like 10 employees, having a Facebook page with 10, 20 million followers, they all lost their jobs. And it was mind-boggling, and also for us really disheartening, because I mean, we earlier already realized that all these platforms, they have their agendas. They run as companies. They're not run as networks, and that they can essentially have all the control over your content, your data, and how you're presented in this online space. So we didn't want to be part of it. We wanted to take a stab at creating a platform where you could actually take your content, take your audience, and use that as your own kind of network building opportunity wherever you go. Like, you should not be beholden to a platform that provided you a little bit of a, you know, algorithm or a tool for exposure. You should, like, that's not how networks work in real life. Like, nobody can all of a sudden, when, you know, we have a connection and we're talking to each other, nobody can all of a sudden come in and say, no, you cannot talk to this person ever again. Whereas that's kind of what these social networks do. And you can see that especially on Instagram, where, you know, they change the feed and all of a sudden your content doesn't get presented to as many people as before because they want to push more ads. So like the advertising system that gets added on to the network as it sort of gentrifies, that's what makes it so difficult for actual content creators to get seen, because all of a sudden the feed of all the people who were exposed to your content is just ads. So you know, I'm not going to spend more time on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. I have to admit, you know, my time on Instagram has waned a lot, because if I put a post out, it doesn't really get seen. And you know, and I think for me, you can see it's being slightly manipulated, and that doesn't sort of sit well with me. And since entering the NFT space, I've been all over Twitter, right?
But you know what? It's so ironic how Twitter, it's a network that's not meant for visual content, but it is a place where everybody from the NFT space actually is. And why? Because they actually have that viral element. Like, you can actually grow there. And you know, it's still sort of the same thing on TikTok to a certain extent. Like, their algorithms were different, but they are meant to still serve that viral growth. That doesn't happen on Instagram, and it stopped happening on Facebook a while back. So that's kind of where we came from. We saw opportunity for a network for visual content that encouraged viral growth and encouraged, you know, creators basically putting their content out. And the way we structured it and the way we envisioned it is that the monetization opportunities have to come first. You can't create this network that's going to say, oh, you know, we're all for the people and you can do whatever and you can put out your content and it always is going to get seen, and don't think how you as a company is going to make money. Because that's what happened with Facebook, that's what happened with Instagram. All of a sudden the advertisers came, they want to sponsor, and then just replace original content with advertising. That's something that's always is going to happen. Even on Twitter it happens. Like, right now I'm seeing ads in the feed, but I could see somebody else's tweets, you know, a little bit more. So we have to think about different monetization opportunities as companies that create these social networks. And you know, we were really like heavily into blockchain and cryptocurrency, and we saw that as an opportunity for creators to actually bring their content, monetize, for us to make, you know, cuts of transactions. And that's where we're basing our business model on, not on advertising revenue that comes from, you know, partnerships with companies. And we actually designed a reward system that actually feeds into this and makes a space for those advertisers as well. But it's not through us, it's through the content creators. So it's like, it feeds through that channel. Because right now, when you like, you know, you're a creator on YouTube, if you want to make money on YouTube, it's not going to come from the platform. Your monetization opportunities will come through advertisers, and then they will want to make deals with you. So we just want to make sure that there was a space for that. And we can help facilitate, but we're not the ones that are just putting out advertising natively on the platform, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And you know what I think is really interesting is, you know, the big push around NFTs is the creator economy. You know, finally creators get paid what they're worth, and the ability to really, you know, get the sales for their work that they probably not previously had. And this is another way in which you're, you know, adding to that and giving that opportunity, which is fantastic. So there are little challenges on it every day that encourages you to be generous. And I really like that, because one of the big things that I notice about the NFT space is the generosity of people. Maybe that is because we're very early in the space, but people are very willing to give their information, you know, their help, you know, any sort of education they can, which is why I'm here, you know. And it's a really lovely, like, you mentioned transaction. There's a real nice transactional currency between people at the moment, which is all to do with knowledge and support. And, you know, and I think giving another platform in which people can do that successfully is a really positive thing, which is why I was excited about Yuser. So the question I've got for you, I suppose, is when did you think this is right to be in the NFT space? Like, because obviously, you know, things move so quickly, and actually we're only talking about a few months where this NFT space has really taken off. How long has User been on the boiling pot for you, ready to kind of get going, and then, you know, most recently have dropped? So how long have you been working on this?
So we've started, again, like linking back to the previous company, we basically started seeing what was going to happen in late 2017 and early 2018. And that's when we decided to make a switch, pull the plug on the previous company, and basically say we're gonna go full ahead into this. And it's gonna be so hard, because if you think about it, creating a social network is so hard. It's a pipe dream. It's like, okay, you're gonna create a social network, you're gonna be the next Facebook. Okay, yeah. So, you know, we got a lot of that. One thing that, you know, was always with us is the fact that what you just said, the content creators, the fact that, you know, ever since, you know, what happened with Napster and torrenting and all the content sharing online, all the content creators basically were left with nothing, especially small people. Because if somebody, you know, makes a song that everybody wants to download, nobody is getting paid. You know, if you're a big content creator, you can still pull the advertising revenue, you can still pull that through your clout. But if you're a small content creator, all of a sudden, you know, there's no musicians like at the sort of the mid lower level, because everybody needs to get real jobs. Nobody's able to, you know, sell a song here, there, and like a little album and just like, you know, get by this way. So that's what happened in music. It happened in art, because all of a sudden, you know, everybody can just copy an image, like save it on the computer. Why would you pay for anything? Why would you pay for a magazine? You know, like internet literally brought all these industries down so much, and everybody's behaving like it's normal. No, it's not normal, you know, and especially for me and Tom, like we come from creative industries. I'm actually a writer. That's kind of my background. And publishing industry is the same. Tom is a musician. So we really kind of vibe with each other, thinking that, you know, creators need ways of monetization. And when we seen what happened with CryptoKitties and how literally that whole thing took off, we were like, that's what's going to happen for the art world. It has to, because these tokens, they're like, it's a genius way of letting artists and creators, all sorts of creators, not only artists, monetize. And in fact, the ERC-721 smart contract, it can be used for various different things in terms of like value transfer. But we've seen that with creators, especially because they were so neglected for so long, that was going to be sort of the next wave. And when we started working on the platform, there was not, like, nobody was talking about NFTs. People were still calling them non-fungible tokens. You know, and we were like, yeah, we have to just use non-fungible tokens, and we have to, you know, create this platform that uses them so that we can allow these monetization opportunities for creators. And we were, you know, chipping away at it, and then the whole, you know, crypto market crashed, and that was a bit of a downer. Because, you know, if you are in this space and you're a company looking for funding and looking to, you know, grow, all of a sudden all these funds that were available to you, they're like, you know, nobody's even answering their email because they lost so much money. That was hard.
Yeah.
But, you know, we persevered, and here we are. You know, when we saw the growth in the NFT space, we were like, yes.
Yeah.
What we were talking about since 2018, this is amazing.
Wow. So 2018, 19, 20, 3 years, you guys have been just waiting for this moment.
Well, not really waiting. I mean, it is not easy to create an app. I'll tell you that. We have an app. Like, we released our app in sort of like an alpha beta version. We were testing it out. There's a lot of gamification components. There's a lot of sort of I would call it like, we try to use the same principles that are used in decentralized networks on our network, even though the app itself is kind of more Web 2 connecting to Web 3. It's not just, you know, on the blockchain purely. And there are reasons for it that have to do with interoperability and scalability of those types of applications. We just didn't feel that technology was there yet to allow us for the app to be operational. And we've talked to a lot of companies that wanted to create it, you know, and the next social crypto network or something like this. And a lot of them fell prey to the fact that they were thinking that they could do it just purely on the blockchain. And you can convince people who are in tech that they can use something that takes so much time to process the transaction and this and that. But like for most people, for mass adoption, there are already apps out there that work instantaneously. So we didn't want to do that. We didn't want to sacrifice the user experience. And that's kind of where we positioned ourselves as a company that is like user friendly first.
Yeah.
So every decision
hence user, hence the name user.
Yes. Yes.
So, okay. So I really enjoy this because actually for me, moving away from Instagram, I feel like I'm a home away from home with Yuser. I have a passion for NFTs, which we all know, as does everyone else on the Yuser platform. And I get to see that in an Instagram style format. Okay, so that's the simplest way of describing Yuser to people. You will recognize and be, I suppose, used to the idea of how that works. You scroll down, you see a mate, you can press discover, you can find amazing artists and you can like their work, but you don't like it in a traditional way. So what I just want you to do now, if you don't mind, is just to give us a very simple introduction to how we use Yuser, because it is slightly different. So we'd start with the basis that it does look like Instagram. You have lots of different NFTs that are posted, but some people actually just posted pictures of themselves, at the beginning. So you can post
all sorts of content.
Yeah.
Yuser is a platform for original content. Yeah. We have no rules against you posting, selfies or anything like that. And there's, in fact, we're going to branch out into different communities. Right now, we focus on the NFT artwork because that's where things are. But there are monetization opportunities for, all sorts of influencers and anybody who literally wants to monetize their content. Like, I don't see why somebody couldn't come in and say, I got this many likes on my selfie. Why wouldn't I mint this as an NFT and sell it because everybody likes it? I'm sure somebody wants to buy my selfie. Like, I don't know. That's just like one idea, right? There's also, what about memes? Like, there are people that create memes. There are memes that have sold as NFTs, the original ones. If you want to do this kind of work and monetize it, social network is perfect for this type of content, but not if it is stolen content. And that's where we draw the line.
Yeah.
Because there is a platform for original content. If you're creating any type of original content, and we do have video upload, we have audio upload, so you can upload songs as well. Just select a cover and upload audio.
So I can upload this video, could I?
You know what? I don't know what the size limit is right now. If it's a little bit long, I would have to check with Tom, because I know that we had our own sort of like video system, and that was only, I think it would allow you to do up to like a minute or something like this, a video more like TikTok style.
Okay, so I know that there's
I just don't know. Yeah. I just don't know what the file size upload is for like a big video.
Okay.
But we allow right now.
We're still early in it, so that's the main thing. But the opportunity is that maybe we'll get longer form content there, which for me, I'm suddenly going, oh, that's even more
one thing that we just did is that we actually launched our web app. So in the web app, the web is a little bit more of a place for longer form content, I feel. So I actually have to talk to Tom about like what kind of video like file size we would allow. But yeah, I'm just gonna go backtrack a little bit to like how our gifting system works, because it is a little bit unique, and I just want to make sure that your audience understands it. So on Instagram, you can like things. On other platforms, you can upvote or do things that sort of benefit the original content creator, but it's more sort of like in a cloud type way. There's no real value attached to these likes. On Reddit, maybe a little bit more, because you can actually collect those points and they kind of influence your status. So we wanted to take that kind of system a step further. And what we did is we created these tokens that you can keep gifting. So what we call them
gems, aren't they?
Yes. So we have, it's actually a little bit more complicated than that. It'd be nice if it was just, it's just gems. But the way it works is that you have gem rocks and gemstones. And gem rocks is something that you get every day for interacting with the application. So if you come in and you gift other people, comment and do these basic interactions, then you get more gem rocks that are replenished. And those have no value except that you can actually gift them. So when you gift them to other people, they convert into gemstones on that person's end. The reason why we did it this way is because we didn't want to just give people gems and then they just be holding them instead of gifting the content creators. So we wanted to create that kind of mechanism where people felt like they wanted to gift, but there was still a limit on how much, because we want to make sure that we have certain roadblocks in place for like spammy behavior. So you can only give certain amount per post, certain amount per person. And the gem rocks replenishment system is designed based on activity that benefits the entire network. So you connecting with other people just kind of teaches you how to grow your social following in that sense.
Yeah.
So then, you know, once you get gifted, you get all these gemstones. And right now, there is a few different things that we piloted over the years on how to use gemstones. One of them was that we had a marketplace where people could actually buy product. So we piloted this in our town here in London, Ontario, and we had stores accepting gemstones for products as a marketing tool, right? So we're still very much, that's where retailers come in. That's where the whole kind of e-commerce and advertising part comes in. So in that sense, gemstones are designed as a loyalty program. And you know, what happened with COVID really shut that down, because all the, you know, brick and mortar stores were all of a sudden closed, so nobody could accept these gemstones anymore. So we pivoted towards online retail, and we actually are working on that still. So that's another part of Yuser that's really exciting, and we're going to be talking about it more as we kind of roll towards the end of the year.
And you can see that as well on the profile page. You know, you can actively see that there's like maybe coffees you can buy, or you know, you can go and trade it in for some books or things like that. But it's not quite active at the moment, but it's a great sort of reminder of what is going to come in the future, which is what makes this really exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, that's kind of, so this part of our ecosystem is just really kind of what makes the app tick and what makes it different. And that's also where our token comes in. So we have designed our own cryptocurrency token, because these gemstones are not necessarily like we want them to be on the blockchain, but again, the transaction speed is not there because it's instantaneous, like the gifting system, right? So we have to make sure that whatever we use, like whatever blockchain we use to kind of back that system, that it is still instantaneous. But what we're doing right now is we're launching our actual cryptocurrency token, which is called Gem Diamond. And Gem Diamond is what you would be able to get by staking your gemstones. So that'd be another utility for the gemstones. If you have them staked in a pool, it kind of works the same as sort of another cryptocurrency staking for tokens. Then you can get gem diamonds out of the pool, and they would be released, I don't know, maybe every week or something like that. But that's kind of like the other part, and that's what's gonna come in sort of more towards the end of the year as we launch our cryptocurrency token.
Yeah, okay, because there's lots going on for you. It's quite exciting to see. Before we go on to kind of the next stage, which is to talk about Moon River as well, I just want to ask you how, like, you're a wealth of knowledge. You're clearly so passionate about what you're doing, and you've been in this space for a while. The question I've got for you is, how do you feel being a woman in crypto and a woman in NFTs? Because actually, you know, there's quite the women's movement going on at the moment within NFTs, which is really exciting. And for you, it must be, because you've been working and waiting for so long, it must be like quite empowering for you to see this kind of change happening now.
So I think that with NFTs specifically, a lot of people who are joining this space are artists. So, you know, we know that there is a little bit more of an equal distribution of female and male artists out there. Whereas when it comes to tech space, it's pretty abysmal. It's pretty abysmal that, you know, women are not more encouraged to pursue tech careers. I myself like have stumbled onto this space in a very weird way. You know, my background's being in the arts, and now I'm just in blockchain and cryptocurrency, and it's weird. But you know, that is something that kind of it's a little bit of a struggle, because you know, you end up working in spaces with a lot of men, and you know, it's a kind of like a men's game. So when it comes to cryptocurrency and DeFi, there's a lot of that bro culture kind of going on, and you definitely feel like this is something that you kind of have to face all the time. Like, it's very unusual that you meet another founder who's a woman, for example, especially when you're talking about DeFi companies. I mean, they're there, obviously, but it's not it's not as, like, the volume is just not there. And I remember, especially, going to conferences pre-COVID, that was something that I've seen a lot. It's just like, you're at a conference and you're going into the bathroom, and then there is like no queue to women's bathroom. In fact, there's nobody there, and men are standing in line, like 20 of them, just complaining that they have to stand in line for the bathroom. And I'm like, you stand here.
You know what? That's so the opposite of everyday life, isn't it? So that's hilarious.
It is, but that's kind of like what you're faced with. So, I have other, like, I have, women friends who are, founders of other companies in other industries. And I've heard that sentiment. That they were asking me like, how can you do this? How can you work every day with just men? And I'm just like, I don't know. Honestly, I just don't think about it much.
Yeah.
There's been some situations where, like, we participated in some events, and even my co-founder was like scared for me, because there's a lot of weird stuff that happens.
Yeah.
So, it's, I feel like the only thing that we can do is to encourage more women to pursue this kind of careers. And I think that we as a company done really well in terms of making sure that we have a kind of equal opportunities, and we have, female developers, and, like, we basically have half and half. Half of our staff is women, and it's not because we're trying to, plug some sort of women-shaped hole. It's, these are people who we see as being best for the job.
Yeah.
And I think that it's sad that a lot of other companies don't do that. I think that you just kind of have to be the change that you want to see, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're talking, and that's why, I think we're all here to kind of encourage each other in this space, and highlight each other in this space as well, which is fantastic. So, well, I love the fact that you're a woman in crypto in this space. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, so you're very welcome. So let's talk about, so Yuser is the social media platform. And then the bigger thing is that you're actually going to take the idea of that creator economy, that next step for artists, and move it into a different blockchain, and from Ethereum, which obviously everyone's very much focused on at the moment, and you're going to create your own marketplace called Moonriver, right? And that sits on the Polkadot blockchain. Is that right?
Yeah, so the way it works right now is very confusing with all these different chains. So Polkadot is basically an ecosystem of interconnected blockchain. Polkadot itself, it brands itself as sort of a relay chain. It basically provides a governance layer for all these other blockchains that are deploying on it. We have been partnering with another company called Moonbeam, and what they've done is that they launched a blockchain that's actually compatible with Ethereum virtual machine. So it allows really seamlessly for people like us who have majorly done some work, with Ethereum, and really easily move it onto Polkadot ecosystem, because they can just take their Solidity-based smart contracts and deploy them on Polkadot compatible chain, which is now Moonriver, but it's going to be Moonbeam. So it's they have this kind of like a two-pronged system to kind of have sort of more of a testing environment that's deployed first. That's kind of the easiest way I can put it.
Yeah.
But basically, for us, ever since day one, and it goes back to kind of what I was talking to you about, it's all about usability. It's all about being user friendly. And a lot of the stuff that we've done, and when we looked at the Ethereum ecosystem, things are not fast enough for what we do. The gas is too expensive. Also doesn't work for what we do. And it's not like, I'm not bashing Ethereum. I love Ethereum. I think it's great what they've done. Is that for our use case, like, we needed something different. So that's why we decided to go that route, try something that perhaps can scale a little bit more. So by contrast, the transactions on Moonriver are like in cents. That's the gas costs that are there. So it's much more accessible, but at the same time, it doesn't sacrifice, because there's always this kind of two-pronged thing. If you make something a little cheaper in terms of gas, then very often those blockchains are not decentralized. They're not having the same governance structure that provides all this network security. So that's why people love Ethereum. But Ethereum, you know, gets a lot of bad press for, you know, not being environmentally friendly and all the mining and the environmental impact that it has. So, you know, that being said, Ethereum is moving towards a proof of stake, and we'll see what happens. But that has been in the works for many years at this point. For us, it was very exciting to work with a blockchain that's natively proof of stake. We think that that makes perfect sense, and it doesn't have environmental impact like it's nothing. It would be comparable to, you know, what Visa has as environmental impact, if you think about it. It's not like when we talk about, you know, Ethereum or Bitcoin, but at the same time it still has that governance system designed for security, because there's a lot of other platforms kind of popping in. We hear a lot about Polygon, for example, and Polygon is kind of this sidechain environment to Ethereum. It takes security from Ethereum. However, the entire system was not designed that way to begin with. So I just think that when it comes to Polkadot, it's a little bit more elegant on how they handle the governance and security, and the fact that all the chains able to participate in that, in that validation and adding security to the network. And people would, you know, say that, you know, Ethereum is the most secure network because it's the largest, and, you know, I think that that's absolutely true. But I think there is not going to be one chain to kind of rule them. That's the opposite of what the entire DeFi space is. It's going to be ecosystem of all these chains that are talking to each other, that make sense, and they add value for the platforms that want to be deployed on them. So that's kind of where, that's what we think about this ecosystem.
Yeah, and I suppose the big problem within NFTs is that these blockchains, they haven't been interchangeable, and they haven't been talking to each other. So this could actually, you know, because this is a this is kind of, there is that interconnected blockchain element to this. This is what's going to make things different and hopefully better for the masses.
I think the easiest way to think about it is like, you remember in the 90s where like things would not work with each other all the time, like you couldn't connect through this to this thing, and like things were just not working, not connecting. I mean, I don't know, maybe some people are just too young now to remember that.
I remember the 90s very well.
Nothing worked. Like the kind of things that I would try to do to make things work together, it was just like putting together like the most complicated puzzle, whereas now we're just used to that. Like, you know, you can move things around on all your devices and connect them through all these different ways. Well, and that
Apple is a great example of what we mean by that, like the convenience. You know, you have an iPhone, you have an iMac, you have an iPad, you can seamlessly interchange your photos through all of that. So that's basically, you know, that level of interchangeability, and taking that model and moving it onto the blockchain, and being able to do that with your NFTs, your crypto, all that kind of stuff will make the world an easier place in a way.
Absolutely.
So that's why this is really exciting. So when can we expect, well, where are we at with Moonriver? What kind of, when can we expect kind of it to be the big launch for this? And what can artists and creators do to get involved and be seen on this marketplace?
That's a really good question. So Moonriver, which is the first kind of part of the deployment of the Moonbeam ecosystem, is launched on the 26th of August, so they're operational. We already have some friends who deployed on Moonriver, and everything is going great. So we are gearing up to our launch of our marketplace on Moonriver very soon. I'm not gonna give like an exact date yet because I don't want to be beholden to it, but we're very close. So
are we anticipating that it's 2021, or are we gonna wait till 2021?
No, we are anticipating it's gonna be like maybe this week, but I don't. But I'm not saying that it's going to be this week, because strangest things have happened. You know, like you think that you're ready to go, and then there's a bug or whatever. So right now we're going to this last phase where we're making sure that all, you know, everything is secure, and that's very important. And soon we'll be announcing more, sort of like a few days before we launch, we'll be like putting a solid announcements with the dates when everything's going to go live. So, excuse me, the process is going to be like, you mentioned our giveaway. I'm so glad you were able to participate and grab a Next Gem avatar. So, you know, the reason why we created Next Gems is partly to kind of we've seen all these generative collections, and they're taking off like crazy. And most of these companies don't even have a product. They just created pictures, and they're saying, oh, it's gonna have this utility. Well, we've created all the utility already,
Right.
So next gems, we just thought, these are fun. We want to create this type of collection to kind of help with our marketing. And that's exactly what it did. It was insane. Like when we launched our giveaway for that collection, we had 1,000 next gems that we wanted to give away, and we wanted it to go for 24 hours, whatever's first. They were all gone in 6 hours. It was crazy. And we're still getting messages like, whether there's more, are you doing more giveaways? Like, so we are doing more giveaways. They're in our Discord and our Twitter, but they're small. They're not like, thousands.
So when can we, so the idea was that we get our avatar and we get that on Yuser, and you sign up to Yuser and you start using it. So I have to admit, I got one for myself. My husband, who is a photographer who is going to be minting his collection in NFTs very soon, also got his, because I was like, quick, get on Yuser. And actually, I have to say, so he was on Instagram before, and I'll tag his stuff. You'll be familiar with it when you see it, and I'll show it to you. He never got any traction on Instagram, right? And within the short space that he has been on Yuser, his pictures have been racking up 20,000 gems. He's got over 100 followers. He is looking at this, and he is able to work out what the sentiment is to which pieces he should mint. He's finding out what people like. So for him, it's so useful. And nobody knows who he is because he's got his next gem avatar as his profile picture. But we're really looking forward to minting them. I think it's really cool. Yeah. And for me, I've said to him, it's great market research. You're now seeing, what the people, this is your space for your photography. And that's why I get really excited about it.
No, and that's absolutely amazing. That's exactly what we wanted to create. We wanted to make sure that artists had place for their works. They were able to create community, and then they were able to sell, whatever, they've created in the same place, and then make money, right? And we think that there's absolutely a space for a platform like this. And I think it's already kind of, ever since, especially we started getting this, a lot of growth and engagement, it's already been sort of proven in this little, in its own sort of small contained basket. So I think that at this point, like, when things actually launch, like when the marketplace launches, I think the growth is going to be crazy. This is something that I have not expected, because we've been working on this platform for so long, trying to test things out, trying to, figure out like what it is that we should do, how these things should work. And wherever we had conversations with any type of company that, relies on kind of network growth and viral effects, they said, once like once you hit that nail on the head when it comes to the gamification, when it comes to your system design, things are going to go like that. And you never know what is going to be that hook. And it's crazy for us that it's the avatars that we've created that have actually caused that growth. And we have some amazing like marketing strategies designed also with the Moonbeam team. And we think that it's going to be something we're really excited for the community. So one thing that I want to say, so the giveaway was 1,000 pieces. We gave those out. The launch is going to be structured in a couple of different phases because there's so much going on. We are not just, a website where you can mint something. We are sort of a multi-use platform, and we need to make sure that everything is working at each stage. And we've been very careful with that. So the first step is that very soon, within the next few days, hopefully, if things go as planned, we're going to mint the avatars. However, the first mint is going to be opening our smart contracts to mint the remaining 9,000. After that, if everything went well, with that first avatar sale, we're going to mint the remaining avatars from the collection, like the first 1,000 that were given away in that giveaway. So that's the process. We were staggering it to make sure that it's all lining up, and then that also has its own component, because now we have to make sure that every person who got their avatar is able to receive an airdrop of that avatar to their wallet. So for everybody, you know, who's listening, who has one of the next gen's avatar, the thing to do is that at launch, when we basically mint the remaining avatars, you will have connection via MetaMask available to you. Some people already have it available, but it's still kind of like partially working only. But to be able to receive tokens, it's the same as Opensea, MetaMask. So you need to connect your MetaMask to Yuser, and that way we're able to connect your account with the MetaMask, and we're able to airdrop you your NFT. And the very exciting part about that for us is that we decided to go all out, and these assets are not just a picture. So we're giving away 3 files for each NFT. One file is the PNG file that, you know, is the image of your asset. Another one is the full stack of SVG layers for that avatar. And you have full rights to do whatever you want with that asset.
Oh, wow.
And you have access to the vector files. So now you can go in, mess with it, and do whatever, and it's easy. So that was kind of one thing that, you know, we thought, like, why not just do that? And then, you know, people are already creating kind of derivative works of their avatars. So we just wanted to make it easier. And then the third is how we handle rarity. So we actually split up a file with all the assets kind of outlined, and a very specific rarity score for each asset. So then you can see how rare is the piece that you got. So that's the full package. That's the full NFT package that's going to become available to you.
What added value?
I think it's really cool. I mean, I think it's cool. We did it, so we obviously think it's cool.
Yeah, and because I was wondering, and this is a good one for anyone that's watching it has a next gem, is like, what, because of you're using a different blockchain and all this kind of stuff, it was like, oh, do I have to buy some alt currency? Do I have to pay gas in a different way? But actually you're just airdropping it, so that's really nice and simple for people. So we just have to connect to Yuser.
So as far as I know, last time I talked to our developers, we are able to drop all these to MetaMask accounts of the people who have created user accounts and have next gem stats claimed. Yeah. So that's how we're seeing that. Hopefully it's going to work. The transaction costs on Moonriver are very low, so we don't see it as any sort of problem that we would just drop the 1,000 avatars to everybody's wallets. And I think that that's going to be really, really good. Another thing that's, you know, to be said about it, it does connect via MetaMask. However, you do have to switch networks. So you have to add a Moonriver network. It's kind of like if you see Ethereum, or you can switch to Polygon, you can switch to testnet. So there's another network that you can add that's Moonriver, and it will connect there. But if you want to mint on our marketplace, you can't use your Ethereum. You will have to use Mover token. So right now, the easiest way to get Mover is on like Kraken or KuCoin, one of those exchanges. I think sometime soon it's also going to be available on SushiSwap. So there are ways to obtain Mover. We're also working on a specified sort of exchange. I already announced that actually in our Discord a few days ago. We're going to do a limited sort of drop where we exchange some of the gemstones for Mover, for people who have been most active on the application. So to participate in that, the only thing that you really need to do is to be active. And we'll be releasing more details about that drop soon, because we just want to make sure that it's easier for artists who have been, you know, with us for a very long time in some cases to actually mint with a different token, because a lot of people are just not used to, they're used to Ethereum, but they're not so used to other cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, and I suppose you need to reassure people of, you know, the ease and the, you know, the safety of doing it that way and stuff. So, well, look, we're going to obviously on this, I'm going to share all of the details so that people can find out more about you. Particularly, I would say get on the Discord. That is where the announcement of the launch and everything. And if you are holding one of those next gems, you know, you'll need to hear that to know what to do next when you're ready to mint for and get it airdropped to you, which is so exciting. But yeah, Yunika, I think this is a really exciting complementary part of NFTs. You know, I think the social media side of things is so exciting with Yuser, and then how that is expanding to so much more. And I think it's really innovative with what you've done. So I appreciate your time today. I think you've been really informative. It's lovely to speak to another woman in this space who is doing incredible things. And I'm sure when we have more and more announcements from Yuser and Moonriver, we'll have to do another interview very soon. But for now, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, how interesting was that? I mean, a really exciting time, not just for the world of NFTs, but for women in crypto, and also the fact that there's going to be a new marketplace on the block as well. Plus, we can show it all off with our social media, of course, using Yuser. So if you guys want to find out more about that, all of the details are going to be in the description below. So make sure you check all of those out, especially the Discord. Don't forget to like this video because, you know, we all like a like. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and of course click that all important bell. Follow me on Twitter, I'm Nifty World right there, and I'm running lots of Twitter spaces so you guys can get involved and have your say as well. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video.